Eating with the Divine. I began the dinner by spontaneously explaining how I learned of the mystery therapist who healed an entire ward of mentally ill patients. I had everyone's attention. I invited people to ask questions as Dr. Hew Len and I held a public discourse, much like Socrates and Plato might have done, only I felt more like Play-Doh than Plato. Dr. Hew Len began by saying, people ask questions like, well, what about beliefs? What about emotions? What about that sort of stuff? I don't deal with those things. I don't deal with how come kind of crap. But you are going to ask me that, so I have to deal with it. But it's like if I reach over and I touch something and it burns me quickly, immediately I lift my hand up. So, when something comes up, even before it comes up, I've already taken my hand off. It's like before I walked into this room. This room is sacred. Before I walked in, I made sure that I talked to the room. I asked the room its name because it has a name. Then I said to the room, is it okay for me to come into the room? The room said, okay, I can come in. But let's say the room said, no, you're kind of, excuse the language, crappy. So then I get to look at myself, do what I need to do, so that when I come, as you hear that old phrase about physicians, heal thyself. So I want to make sure that I want to come in healed, problem-free, at least for a moment. I interrupted Dr. Hew Len to set the stage for everyone. I wanted everyone to know who he was and why we were there. What we were doing was spontaneous and free form. I advised everyone to relax and stay open. With Dr. Hew Len, you never know what will be said or done. He asked everyone why someone would get breast cancer. No one could answer. Neither could he. He pointed out that there are millions of bits of information floating around in any moment, but we aren't aware but of maybe 20 bits at any one time. It was a reoccurring theme with him. But it was the essence of his message. We don't have a clue. Science has no certainty of what's going on in our life, he explained. Even mathematics is unclear because of zero. In the end of the book, Zero, the biography of a dangerous idea, the author concludes, all the scientists know is that cosmos was spawned from nothing and will return to nothing from whence it came. The universe begins and ends with zero. Dr. Hew Len went on to say, so I have taken the universe of my mind back to zero. No data on it. You hear different kinds of ways of putting it, void, emptiness, purity. I don't care what you call it. My mind is back to zero now. No matter what is coming up, even when I am not even aware of it, the process I am going to talk about is constant, incessant zeroing so that I can be at zero. I could see most people were riveted by Dr. Hew Len, but some were, like me, still in the dark. But Dr. Hew Len kept going, saying, what happens is that only when your mind is at zero is where creation can take place, and it's called inspire. In Hawaiian, this inspire is called ha. So if you've ever been to Hawaii, the word ha means inspiration. Of the word Hawaii is the word ha, and wai is water, and I in Hawaii is the breath and the water of the divine. This is what the word Hawaii is. The word Hawaii itself is a cleansing process. So when I am anywhere and I check, I say, okay, before I go into the room, what is it that I need to clear, which I don't know? I have no idea what's going on. So what is it? So if I hear a cleaning process, which is called Hawaii, as I apply it, it will get a data that I am not even aware of and take me back to zero. Only at zero. And something that you need to realize is the mind can only serve two masters, one at a time. It will either serve whatever this is going on in your mind, or it will serve inspiration. This other stuff is called memory. This was getting even more fascinating. From there, Dr. Hew Len went even deeper. Divine intelligence is where all of this inspiration comes from, and it's in you. It's not out there anywhere. You don't have to go over there. You don't have to go over there. You don't have to seek anybody out. It's already in you. The next level here is called the superconscious. That's simple enough. Over here, the Hawaiians call this the Aumakua. Au, right here, means across all time and space. And Makua means Holy Spirit or a God, which means that there is a part of you that is timeless, and there's a part of you that has no bounds. That part of you knows exactly what is going on. Then you have the conscious mind. Hawaiians call it Yuhani. Then you have the subconscious. The Hawaiians call it Unihipili. So, one of the most important things to be aware is to question, who am I? So, what we are saying, what I am sharing with you, is that your identity consists of these elements of mind. Now, it is important for you to know that this mind is empty. So, this mind is zero. So, who are you? You are a divine being. That's zero. So, why would you want to be zero? When you are zero, everything is available. Everything. So now, that means that you are created in the image of the divine. I'm going to be clear about this because I hear certain things, but I want you to be clear by the divine. So, you are created in the image of the divine. That means you were created void on one side of the coin and infinite. As long as you are willing to let go of trash and be empty, then immediately what happens is inspiration fills your being, and now you are home free. You don't even have to know that you are home free, because most of the time you won't know. Where is it? Where is it? I've been clean. Come on, tell me where it is. I'll work more. Most of the time you won't know. When the intellect gets hooked into being stuck, it gets more stuck. It's what the Hawaiians call, excuse my language, kakai paya. Anybody know what kakai papa means? It means intellectual constipation. One person then asked, but if you have a challenge with another person, are you saying it's me, not the other person, that needs corrected? If you have a challenge with somebody, then it's not with that person, Dr. Hew Len declared. It's that memory that's coming up that you are reacting. That's what you have a challenge with. It is not with the other person. Now, I've worked with people who hated their husband or hated their wife. A woman one time said, I am thinking about going to New York. I'll have a better chance. Then I heard the divinity say, well, wherever she goes, that's what goes with her. Dr. Hew Len then explained that when someone contacts him for a therapy session, he looks at himself, not the person who called. For example, the other day I got a call from the daughter of a woman who was 92. She said, my mother's had these severe hip pains for several weeks. While she's talking to me, I'm asking this question of the divinity. What is going on in me that I have caused that woman's pain? And then I ask, how is it that I can rectify that problem within me? The answers to those questions come, and I do whatever I'm told. Maybe a week later, the woman calls me and says, my mother's feeling better now. This doesn't mean the problem won't reoccur, because there are often multiple causes for what appears to be the same problem. But I keep working on me, not her. Another person asked about the war overseas. He wanted to know if he was responsible for it. More exact, he wanted to know what Dr. Hew Len was doing about it. Oh, I consider myself responsible, Dr. Hew Len declared in no uncertain terms. I do the cleaning every day, but I can't say I am going to do the cleaning and I want that taken care of. Only God knows what can happen. But I'm doing my part, which is to do the cleaning, like clear out hospitals. We don't have a psychiatric hospital for a unit for people who kill people in Hawaii anymore. It ain't there. I have done my part the best I could. Maybe if I had cleaned even more, there would be even better results. I am human, and I do the best that I can." I could see that Dr. Hew Len was getting tired and sensed he wanted to end the evening. It had been a remarkable time for all, but it didn't stop that evening. The next morning, after our evening lecture and dinner, several people had breakfast together, including me, Dr. Hew Len, Elizabeth McCall, author of The Tao of Horses, and a few others. Whenever I'm around Dr. Hew Len, I begin to get quiet inside. I might be feeling the zero state. I might not. Who knows? But at one point, I had the sudden inspiration to hold a weekend event and call it something like the Manifestation Weekend. I don't know where the idea came from. At least I didn't at the time. Now I know it was an inspiration from divinity. But over breakfast, it felt like a good idea I did not want. I was busy with projects, travels, promotions, fitness contests, and more. I didn't need another to-do item on my plate. I tried to resist the idea. I decided to wait and see if it would just go away. It didn't. It was still in my head 3 days later. Dr. Hew Len told me that if an idea is still there after several cleanings, act on it. So I wrote what became my most poorly written email of my entire life and sent it to my database of contacts. To my amazement, one person called and registered for the event 3 minutes after I sent the email out. She must have been sitting there in front of her computer almost waiting to hear from me. The rest of the sign-ups were just as easy. I only wanted 25 people for the event. It was my own self-imposed limitation, simply because I felt I could speak to 25 easier than I could speak to 2,500. Besides, I had never done this seminar before. In fact, I had no idea how to do it. I told Dr. Hew Len about the inspiration and my concerns. "My only advice is to not plan," he said. "But I always plan," I explained. "I write out my talks, create PowerPoints, and have handouts. I feel better when I know where I'm going in my talks." "You'll feel better once you trust the divine to take care of you," he countered. "We'll clean on this." By that I knew he meant that because the issue came into his experience, it meant it was something he needed to clear too. Again, everything is shared. Your experience is my experience and vice versa once we are aware of it. I did my best to not plan the event. I gave in to my fears at one point and created a manual to hand out to everyone. But I didn't use it and never looked at it, and no one cared about it. I began the event by saying, "I have no idea what to do at this event." Everyone laughed. "No, really," I said, "I have no idea what to say." They all laughed again. I then proceeded to tell everyone about Dr. Hew Len, Ho'oponopono, and how the phrase, "you create your own reality," meant more than they ever thought before. When someone is in your life that you don't like, I explained, you created that. If you create your own reality, then you created them too. The weekend was powerful. Even today, when I look at the group picture of everyone from that event, I feel the love we all shared. You can see this picture at beyondmanifestation.com. But this was only the beginning for me. I still had much to learn. Hi, Dr. Joe Vitale here. I'm very excited to announce an inspired new certification program. This program is designed to teach you everything from the basics to the advanced of Ho'oponopono. So you know this and you can live this and you can practice this and you can teach it to others if you like. Now, this is a program for you because you're here and because you're paying attention to what I'm having to say. Obviously, you came here for a reason. Obviously, you're interested in Ho'oponopono, and you're probably interested in being certified as a certified Ho'oponopono practitioner. Well, if all of that is true, then all you have to do now is review this page, and then if you're interested and you feel your heart is nudging at you or tugging at you or inspiring you to sign up for this, I say do it. I say that there are moments in life that change your life forever. They're those defining moments when you make a decision, and that decision takes you in a new direction or a deeper direction. And I believe that's what's going on here today. This has been a new direction for me, for Guitar Monk Matthew Dixon, for all the people at Statbrook and Global Sciences who are behind this certification program. And I invite you to review this, sit with it, meditate on it, and if it really feels like it's right for you, then go ahead and sign up for it. You will love the detail. You will love the program. If you already love Ho'oponopono, then this is going to make you even more passionately in love with this life-altering technology or modality or spirituality, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, Ho'oponopono has changed my life. It's changed everybody's life, including Dr. Hew Len, including Guitar Monk Matthew Dixon. All of us have been changed by this very simple program. But don't be deceived by how simple Ho'oponopono is. I was on a call recently where people were asking me questions about Ho'oponopono and how do they say the phrases? Who do they say the phrases to? Do they say them to other people? Do they say them inside themselves? What order do they say them in? Why do they have to say the phrases at all? Why do they have to say, I love you, I'm sorry? What else can they do besides the phrases? They had all these questions, and I realized even with the trainings that are out there, even with my books that are out there, even with the available information that you can find by Googling around, there isn't everything in one place like there is now. And now not only can you get all of the education and absorb it and use it and practice it and change your life, but you can be certified as a Ho'oponopono practitioner. So this is the best of all worlds. So I encourage you, review the site. If it feels right, if you feel inspired, sign up. Meanwhile, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you.